best firewood is the birch. For whatever reason, birch is the one that burns the best in my experience, although I gotta say spruce is something that gets dry quite easily and therefore also burns quite well. And then we have this tree right here, which I have no idea what this is in English. It's sort of a willow tree and it really sucks. This is the worst firewood ever. But if you get the fireplace hot enough, then it doesn't really matter. So that's why I also have that, because I get the wood from the nearby forests to save money. Oh, fucking branches always stop the axe. This should be good enough though. I think that's enough. So I usually do this with natural elements like the birch bark or whatever you call it, the surface of the birch. You can peel it in some cases. This one is not a good example, but in any case, and that's actually very flammable. So that's the natural way of setting a fire. But I'm lazy and they sell these little pouches these days, so why not use them? So I just use these pouches these days. Right, let's take a little look. It's been maybe half hour since I started this whole thing. It's been 15 minutes since I added anything, so looking pretty good and hot. There we go. It seems the temperature is 50 degrees, so it's not gonna take much longer for me to be able to actually come here and enjoy the relaxation. Trying out the new wooden pint that I bought. Obviously gonna wash it first, but looks pretty decent, looks quite solid. So I'm gonna wash this and I'm gonna put it in water to soak the water, so it's gonna swell and it won't let water through, or rather beer through. This one is the first wooden pint that I ever got at a medieval festival, and this one I got quite recently from a sort of a flea market type of place, and this is really amazing. The only issue is the lid here doesn't really open fully because this part here is too long, so it's a little bit difficult to drink from. But the great thing about these wooden pints is, since I love to drink beer in the sauna, is that these keep the beer cool for a very long time, even in the heat of the sauna, because the wood doesn't conduct heat like, metal does. These are very amazing for us Finnish people. Usually people don't use these, but we, with my friends, found these from the medieval festival, and ever since I've been using these, and I love them so much. They also add flavor to the beer, the wooden flavor, through the smell of the pint, so very awesome stuff. All right, so the pint is filled with water now, and I gotta say, it doesn't seem like there's any, just tiny bit of dropping. That was me just splashing it, but I think this is probably the best pint so far when it comes to holding water. But I noticed that the smell is not very wooden, so perhaps they have used something on this, on the surface of this, or there's some glue or something. So I'm just gonna let this water soak, because I can see a little bit of some kind of residue on the surface, because when you buy these from the flea markets and whatnot, you never know what's been used to make these more waterproof and whatever. And many times these are just for decoration, but I love to drink from these. So it is time to start filling the cold tub. So let's get into it. I do not know if this is gonna change once the water sits there for a while, but it seems like the water is finally 12 degrees rather than 14, so that's good news for me because I want it colder. Alright, it is time to go to the sauna. I love the autumn colors on this plant. Very vivid and red and beautiful. And there's the good old gym, which I gotta get my speaker from because I'm gonna listen to some music also as I go to the sauna. Alright, so I got my beer here. And I decided to use my old wooden pint after all because the new one still had some residue on the water no matter how many times I rinsed it, so I'm gonna go with this instead. Alright, here we go. I'll try to do this once a week as long as possible, although soon enough I will be traveling for 3 weeks, so I have no idea if I have a chance to find anything cold in freaking Vietnam. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited for the trip, it's gonna be absolutely a blast, but I don't know if they have cold tubs there, so my sensitivity is gonna be back to square one after that, I suppose. Anyway, now I go to the sauna again, and today's Friday, so I think I'm gonna stay for a while. So this is my weekly routine. I do this once a week, sometimes on Wednesdays, sometimes on Fridays. And it takes me away from the real world. It takes me away from the internet. It takes me away from the modern nonsense of worrying all the time, of seeing the news all the time, of being connected to everything else except nature and your own body. That's what this is about. It's about connecting with my body and my mind and forgetting that the outside world even exists. Okay, this is enough cold. Cheers, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed this. It's a little bit over 80 degrees Celsius, so pretty much perfect for my taste. The most I've gotten in this sauna has been 110 degrees. Anyway, I do think that's the gist of it, so I am going to put the phone away. I'm gonna just play some music, some Finnish folk metal called Korpiklani, one of my favorite bands of all time. And I just hope you guys can be happy, you know, like I don't understand why there has to be war and suffering in this goddamn world. Sometimes I wish I had somehow the resources and the ability to host some kind of events where I would have a big sauna and I could invite people who would watch my channel, for example, who are suffering with something, with mental health or with pornography addiction or something, and I just invite people over to do the cold plunge and the sauna, and at least for like 1 weekend people would be able to forget all the bullshit. So that's kind of something that I'm dreaming about, of being able to facilitate, but we shall see. It's not something you can just do just like that, so follow along and subscribe, I suppose, if you want to see where I get. I mean, in 1 year I've gotten 1,000 subscribers, so what's going to happen in the next 1 year? That's going to be interesting. What's going to happen in the next 10 years even? Anyway, that's enough. Thank you for watching, everyone. Leave a comment below what you thought of this video, and now I talk too much because I've had 1 beer, so it's time to really put an end to this and say bye-bye to you guys.